Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 3 as we have documented the journey of building and starting a digital media club, which is soon to be a class this next year with Concordia Lutheran Schools in Omaha, Nebraska. John DeBoer has been leading their program, and wow, we are excited to share the amazing things they've done this year, how far they've come from when they started, when we met a year ago, about now, to where they are today, exactly almost a year from now when the seeds were being planted to now live streaming and creating content throughout the school year, putting it up on the video boards, buying some new equipment, PTZ cameras that they've put up in different areas, some amazing things. And we're excited to kind of recap as we shared back in August and then in November, all the different things that they've done and exciting new developments of actually starting it as taking the club to a class, which is the vision that we want to help schools accomplish through Striv Education. That you have that roadmap and you can get administrators on board with that. So welcome back, John. How's it going?
It's going well. I'm visiting from home today. School is over, and I'm trying to stay away for a while.
Yeah, good
It's
for you.
hard.
It is. Yeah, I mean, we just saw each other last week at the school
Yep.
getting deliveries for some more equipment. But
hmm
take us through this last year, just high level, what the experience was like for you, a veteran teacher. You've been doing this a long time, teaching business and entrepreneurship, and now taking on this new venture of teaching digital media and being the guide for these students. What was it like for you as a teacher?
To be honest, it was a little bit scary and nerve-wracking first. Are students going to be interested? Are they going to want to do some of these things? Are they going to be willing to put in time outside of the normal class periods during the day to make these things happen? And the answer to all of it was yes, they really were. We went from a couple of kids showing up a week before school started talking about how to handle the new parking lot and how to use a roundabout, which we ended up catching a few people doing it the wrong way on video, which was quite funny. To towards the end of the year, we had students creating their own spoofs, satires of the school, talking about the senior prank, which was more of just a short video of fun than it was an actual prank. And being able to live stream what we call our senior blessing, which is one of the best things we do at school. Friday before graduation, each student picks a mentor, teacher, or coach or the like to pray over them, to give them some advice and to give them a blessing, which went, quote, viral for Concordia. It's had over 170 views last I saw, which for us is pretty good. And that was run by students. I had a teacher in there kind of supervising them as they were running it, but that was run by students. So we went from nothing to something significant, and it really worked well. We had a lot of support. Our boosters provided a lot of support monetarily, getting us going. Administration has been amazing in giving us some flexibility and some leeway and allowing a class to be held next year. We're still putting the final touches on the schedule, but right now the class is full with a wait list.
Yeah, so how many students is a full class for you guys?
I maxed this one at 20.
Okay, perfect.
You get much above that, then it becomes hard to get stuff for everybody to do. But I've maxed it at 20, and I think it's going to go well.
That's amazing. And tell us a little bit about the group of students that you know of. Is it freshman through senior? What does the mix look like as far as grade level?
The majority are going to be rising seniors to be. A fair number of rising juniors, and then a few freshmen and sophomores.
Great.
We limited it to the upperclassmen first, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
so they'd have an opportunity to take it as a class and go from there. But it was really interesting when we got in our new Worship and Performing Arts Center, our Nancy Griffith Worship and Performing Arts Center. We got the cameras installed about 10 days before we did the blessing, and we started recording chapels. We still have some tech issues. The Wi-Fi in the space is not the greatest. It is concrete, lots and lots of concrete everywhere, and Wi-Fi signals don't go through there.
Doesn't
So
work well, does it?
I know what we need to do, but I didn't want to risk anything getting messed up before we headed into graduation weekend and chapels and things like that. So we just recorded and then uploaded it later. But we were able to do live streams of a couple of the academy chapels, and those worked just fine, probably because they didn't have a bunch of high school kids on the Wi-Fi when they're sitting in the chapel after hours watching their friends or the like. But we've got a good plan to work on that, and that's a July project to make it happen. But
Yeah.
while we were doing these concerts, I had a group of 5 or 6 seniors who I said, okay, here's how you do stuff. Here's how you swap between cameras. Here's how you zoom in. Here's how you focus. Here's how you light balance. I said, go. Try it. Everyone knows this is our first set of runs. We don't have time to do any dress rehearsals. Just go. And they got so engaged. They were really focused on what they could do because they knew this was their last chance to do something like this. The younger students, I had a couple of them just watching in the background, some juniors just watching in the background, and they kind of absorbed it and said, okay, we can do things a little better for next time. It's that constant improvement.
That's what the amazing part about creating a group like this for you, a club to start, is to see them grab a hold of that and then look for ways to improve. A lot of times, I mean, you've been in education a long time. Students kind of get stuck in a rut with things and they just kind of go through the motions of school. Well, with digital media and content creation and live streaming, you're always looking to level up, if you will. And you guys have done an amazing job with that, of putting wireless video. I think last time we talked, you guys were, doing a fan camera during games and putting live video up there, and just always looking to see how you could push the limits, knowing it wasn't going to be perfect. And I think if you take away anything from this conversation, is John was willing to take the risks of maybe looking foolish for a second to give the students a great learning experience and go, hey, what did we learn from this experience? And then guess what? You end it with that, with the blessing ceremony that was live streamed, that had, to my
It,
knowledge,
it
right, it had
wasn't it
never been
wasn't
done
live stream.
before. Or yeah,
It
it was
wasn't live
recorded.
stream. It was recorded. I didn't want to interrupt it. So, in fact, if you go and look at it, Reverend Staub says, "Are we live streaming or not?"
Oh
And I said,
right,
"Nope,
yes, yeah,
we're just recording."
yeah.
And as he said, "Well, if you believe in tech and if you have faith in tech,
You'll be able to
so
watch this later. Yeah,
you'll be able to watch this later." And I do think a few parents recorded individually on their own phones, but we do
right.
have a pretty good picture. We did have some issues with it. We still had some
Yeah.
white balancing that was work in progress. But at least they got to see their kids. They got to hear the words, which are the important parts.
Well, and sometimes I think the great lesson for students is, let's try it and let's do it, instead of the opposite of, we're not even going to attempt this because we're so fearful of it not being perfect. And I think we sometimes get caught up in that of, hey, maybe we don't have everything set up, we don't have all the right equipment, or yeah, we haven't figured out the white balance, so let's hold off and let's wait till the next event. And you just keep kicking the can down the road. You guys did it. And I think that's the lesson for teachers, is you've just got to go, you got to start and let the kids take some ownership. And then you talk to them about of, hey, yeah, how can we improve this? What can we tweak? And I love that you did that, and you empowered your students to see that and be okay with that.
To paraphrase Yoda, The best teacher is failure. And I think that's in one of the last 3 movies, which we won't talk much more about.
That's a different episode.
Hey, I've seen all of the Star Wars movies in the movie theater in their original run. Tells you how old I am.
Okay, that's impressive. That's impressive.
So that's where we are, but we're still not actually done yet. My wife and I and another teacher were leading a trip up to a small village in Alaska here. And we're taking some recording equipment.
Okay.
And we have one of our students who wants to be basically a documentary maker.
Cool.
And he's going to document our journey.
Love that. Love it.
And so we'll see how that turns out. It'll be what it'll be. It's not like we can go and do reshoots real easily.
What? Let's go back next week. We missed that.
No, after the planes, trains, and automobiles to get there.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Is that a student that was part of the media club then this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
Great.
We have a couple others that are there also going, and we'll really see how this works and use it not just as a recruitment tool on our end, but maybe for the organization, share it with the village itself, and share it to different people that this is part of our school. I mean, we have done an excellent job over the years with connections and print materials with people, but this is another way to reach different audiences, especially the younger generation.
Absolutely. And what a great experience.
It's a way to connect them and say, hey, here at Concordia, this is some of the stuff we believe in. This is what we value. And here we go.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, it'll be great. Will it be a lot of work once we get back going through? I'm guessing we're going to have hundreds of hours because every kid's going to record something on their phone.
Yep.
And I hope the storage doesn't fill up.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with something like that is coming in with some sort of plan of what's the story that you want to tell, right? And grab a bunch of B-roll from it to be able to tell that story. And so that'll be really great. And like you said, it'll be what it is. And yeah, as much as you can store on all the devices, the better to get to capture that moment. So, all right, I want to transition to next school year a little bit, just kind of your thinking, your vision. I know you created a mission and vision, some goals for the club, but now transitioning to a class with 20 students. What are you looking forward to?
Well, one of the big things to do is to obviously improve the tech. We'll be able to work on light balance. We'll be able to work on the shaking camera issue, work on what we do to keep the audience engaged during basketball games and volleyball games, other events that are happening in the gym, whether it's pep rallies or so forth. We used the big screen for graduation.
Oh, very cool.
Did not have to bring in an outside screen or projector, hang it from the ceiling and all that extra expense. Just used the screen that was there.
Great.
And we're able to add that to the graduation. And the screen is a lot brighter than any outside projector. So we're able to adjust lighting, and it just made for a better atmosphere as we were going without having to have all these extras. So one of the big things is to get kids better with tech, not just with the video, but also cameras. I had a mother who dropped off a wonderful supply of camera equipment.
Oh, cool.
It's a Sony. I've always used Canon, but it's a Sony, and I'm sure it'll work the same. I'll just have to learn, again, a July problem. But even the backdrops, the full body backdrops, not just one for a headshot or an upper torso shot, but a full body. So we'll be working with that and getting pictures of kids. We're going to have an official media day for fall sports.
Yes, awesome.
And get pictures and also be getting video, making hype video for the football team, for the volleyball teams, for tennis. and girls golf. I think that's the four. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing, is getting kids so they're more comfortable, so anyone can get a camera and be willing to go out and, okay, go get some pictures of this. Go get some pictures down in the academy. They're having a field day, or they're having a bubble day, or whatever down there. Just give kids a camera and say, okay, go get these things. And just have that strategized ahead of time of what we need to do when. So there will be work for the kids outside of class. And so we'll compensate and have some work time during class to work on different projects and do preparation.
Fantastic. That's
That's one of
great.
the big things.
Yeah.
The
What
other
else?
thing is to get the kids to create more social media content, both with short videos and with still pictures. So having it reviewed, but still having it going out there, because they know what the students like for the Insta spam page. Insta spam and Spacebook is more for the adults. Yeah, I got names for them. But have the kids make that content and work that through.
Yes.
And then the other thing is engagement during the game. We have a camera, an extra camera. We're going to be installing in the gym another PTZ so we can get crowd reaction, both of our students and our adult fans, just regular fans.
Yeah.
Student section and the fan section, and doing things like the lookalike cam. One of the big hits we had last year was senior baby pictures.
On the video board.
On the video board
Nice.
during district playoffs.
Great.
For basketball, and that was a huge hit. And guess the seniors start with the baby picture and fade into their senior portrait.
Cool. Great
Which
idea.
was really nice. This year, if I can get all the teachers to give them to me, guess the teacher from the baby picture.
Nice. From like their first year teaching, or from high school or something. Yearbook photo.
Yearbook photos. We had a few of those.
Nice.
Which, surprising how much some of the teachers haven't changed in 20 years.
Yeah.
But going back and getting some of those things, of course, the students told me, well, Mr. DeBoer, your baby photos are all on stone tablets. Well, we'll see what AI can create as convert this baby photo so it looks like it's a petroglyph or something.
Love it. That's great.
But it's fan engagement. And that's the beauty of digital media and all these extra things. It's engaging people, not just the people who are watching the live stream, but the actual audience in the building.
Yes. That's what it's all about. You can teach students those experiences, and it's so great that you guys got to get some feedback this last school year to then go, okay, how can we take it up to the next level, right? Let's get teachers. And so you were able to get feedback. And that's the thing about all those things you just talked about, right? Get more comfortable with the tech. You've got some experience now. Okay, how can we improve that? You've got the vision for the media day, and you've got the equipment to execute on that. You'll continue to improve on that. Social media content is all about feedback, right? Okay, what really did people engage with through our social media? Let's do more of that. Or, hey, let's try this. And then the fan engagement. So you're right on track. I love those 4 things basically as goals, or little mini missions throughout the school year that you guys can be tracking on. And because that's huge, especially when starting the classes. A lot of people, they don't even know where to start. And so you having this last year to experience some different things, to know that is really, really huge. So that's exciting.
It would have been difficult if it was a class year 1.
Right. Yeah.
It would have been very difficult to do it as a class year 1. So any other schools that are out there thinking about doing something like this, make it a club. Start somewhere, but make it a club. Maybe you're just doing social media. Maybe you're just recording fan reactions at a football game or a volleyball game, but start with something. Don't let perfection get in the way of progress. And that was one of the big lessons I learned coming from an IT world, your programs have to, your programs got to be really good. They got to be perfect almost. Otherwise, you start getting complaints. Um, but here, it's just start moving, and everyone will be very forgiving, especially when you let it be known this is all done by students.
Yeah. Yep.
One of the really nice things we did was at our fundraising event, we had students make a couple different videos and showed those at the fundraising event. Again, they weren't perfect, but we were able to tell this was all done by students. And it was really, really a good thing to do.
That's powerful. Well, what a year. Congratulations on getting it into a class, because sometimes, a school doesn't see the value of that. So that's huge. I think we talked about it already in November that the seeds were being planted because of the momentum you had and the plan of going back a year from now, of really being transparent and communicative with admin and Booster Club and then some of the equipment and tech upgrades you guys have been able to get. We appreciate that through Striv AV, and we're just super grateful to be a part of the journey this last year, and hopefully we can continue that. So any last words for teachers as they kind of look at your journey this year?
I'm just going to tell you a comment I got from a student, and I had the students all create little thank you notes for the Booster Club and some of the other people.
Nice.
But a student said that, here I am on Pinnacle Bank Arena at state basketball boys championship game, and I'm on the floor taking pictures. This is just fantastic to have that experience, being able to have some of I was a little upset NSAA only allowed 2 kids down there, but I guess it's better than none.
Yeah.
And so it's engagement. And this is just another tool that education has to get kids engaged. And we all know that's super important as educators.
Yep. I think I remember in our first video you said engagement, engagement, engagement. I think you said that 3 times.
Well, it's the old joke when it comes to real estate, location, location, location. But when it comes to education and so many other things, engagement, engagement, engagement.
Well done, John. If you're watching this, he might be already back from Alaska by the time you watch this. So if he does, and the video maybe he's done, who knows when that will get done. But really appreciate you, John, and sharing your journey with those following along. And safe travels to you in Alaska.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a terrific summer. And we're just getting started.